Hey everybody, it's low carb and keto nutritionist Amy Berger from 2itnutrition.com, bringing you yet again doing keto without the crazy. Before I get into the topic, let's see, what can I tell you about? Remember, the notes and the links below, I do consultations. So if you are looking for help with a low carb, ketogenic, or even paleo style diet, do check out that link to work with me, and I can help you get started if you're brand new, or if you've been following one of these ways of eating for a while and are not getting the results you want, I can help you troubleshoot. And what else? Also the Meet Me in Person tab, so you can find out about, conferences and events where you can meet me in person. So let's see. Okay, I guess that's it for now. Oh, no, don't forget, free sneak peek of my book, my forthcoming book, The Stall Slayer. I don't think, maybe it'll be out in December. It's probably not going to happen until after the new year, but do check out The Stall Slayer, or look in the list of videos I've done. I did a video recently telling you about it. I have a new book coming out soon about breaking fat loss stalls on keto. Okay, moving on from that, today's topic is about being a nice, decent, kind human being. And I kind of got the idea to do this after coming back from Brazil. I was just in Brazil last week for something called Evento Alimente, organized by Dr. Eric Neves and his friends and colleagues in Sao Paulo. I mean, how awesome is that? Brazil! When I was sitting at my dining room table 6 years ago writing blog posts, never in a million years did I imagine I would be invited to go to Brazil to talk about keto. And the talk I gave was ketogenic diets for neurodegenerative disorders, which I will put on this YouTube channel at some point. It's just going to take me some time to do that. Anyway, Luis Villasenor was there. He's from Keto Gains, ketogains.com, one of my favorite keto groups in the world. And Dr. Westman was there also talking about keto. We were the international people, and then everyone else was Brazilian. They had several doctors, endocrinologists, family doctors, nephrologists, kidney specialists talking about low carb, and it was great. And they were kind enough to have an interpreter there for us. So otherwise, I wouldn't have understood a thing. I speak Spanish very, very well. I was actually a Spanish major in college, and I can read Portuguese and understand about 90% of it because it's so similar to Spanish, but it sounds completely different when it's spoken. So I can read it and understand. I cannot understand it when it's spoken, and I can't speak it back. The funny thing is, though, I mean, most of the people at this conference either spoke really good English or broken English, but good enough that we could communicate. You know Spanglish, right? That half, the mongrel of half Spanish, half English. They have Portuñol, half Portuguese, half Espanol, right? So I was able to get by with Portuñol because I could speak like Spanish and they could kind of understand me just enough that we could communicate. And first of all, if any of you watching this were at Evento Alimente or are Brazilian fans of mine, thank you. What a great event that was. And Valeria and Sergio, if you're watching, what a nice night that was at dinner. I had some fans take me out to a very nice dinner. So just a really, really beautiful experience all around in Sao Paulo. The reason that I want, and everybody was so kind to us. I mean, they were like, thank you so much for coming all the way to Brazil. And I was like, thank me? No. Thank you for inviting me to your gorgeous country. Okay. What really inspired me to do this video is that the conference was not at the hotel where the speakers were staying, and the organizer had arranged transportation for us. I missed the van somehow. I was out there early, but I still ended up missing the van. I did not have any cell service, and I found out why afterward. I had the wrong setting on my phone. But anyway, as long as I was at the hotel on the Wi-Fi, I could use my phone. But once I was out, like in the street or in a cab or something, I had zero electronic communication with anybody. So I was kind of like trapped on my own. And so they have Uber, thank goodness. I missed the van, no problem, I'll get an Uber. I had one Uber, no no luck. 2 Ubers, no luck. Like the drivers were canceling. We got our signals crossed. I've used Uber plenty in the US, but I found out after the second missed signal, I went to the front desk of the hotel and I said, like, what's wrong? Like they say they're here. I can see them getting closer and closer, but they're not here. What's the problem? For some reason, my Uber app was indicating that my destination was, that where I was my destination. I had the pickup and drop off points reversed. So the drivers were at where I wanted to go, not coming to pick me up. But the people at the front desk of this hotel, fortunately, they always had at least one. There was like 3 people at the desk at all times. Fortunately, one of them always was very, very, proficient in English. So she was able to help me out. I get the 3rd Uber, no problem. Uber driver drops me off. The name on the place looks like the right name, so he takes off. I'm here. I go into the building, and it looks like the Brazilian Walmart. It's like a department store, and I'm looking around like, what the ever-loving hell? Where am I? This doesn't look like a conference venue at all. I assumed it was a hotel, because every other event I've been at has been a hotel, or if it was a smaller event, it might have been at like a local church or a school. For the most part, these larger events are at hotels. And I'm like, I think I'm in the wrong place, and my phone is basically worthless to me here. I have no signal. What am I going to do? I'm looking around kind of like, what is this place? It's a grocery store. It's an electronics store. And there was like a podium with a guy at it, and I go up to this guy and I'm like, Inglés, Español, like, do you speak English or Spanish? He spoke very broken English, a little bit of English, just enough to help me, just enough to understand that I was there for an event and I didn't know where it was. And he was kind of like, oh, I'm not sure. I think maybe. He calls over one of the security guards who speaks no English, but he's conferring with the security guard in Portuguese. And he tells me that the security guard will take me to where this event is. And I'm like, okay. And I'm a little worried because I'm assuming I'm going to have to get into a car and go somewhere. Like I'm in completely the wrong place. Like maybe the name of this department store was similar to the name of the hotel. No, the conference venue was like in the basement of this building. It was the right building. I was just in the totally wrong part of the building. The security guard walks me to the place. Thank God. Thank you so much. See ya. At the first opportunity when there was a break, you have a couple of speakers and then there's a break. At the break, I went back upstairs to try to find this guy that had helped me. Like when I am completely helpless, I have nowhere to go. I thought I would have to just, maybe he could call me an Uber so I could go back to my hotel, regroup, try to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Since everything worked out during the break, I go back up, I find the guy, and I run over and I hug him and I say, you saved my life, thank you. And so that was the inspiration for me to do this video. Here we have this random Brazilian guy who is under no obligation to help this stupid, lost, poor, pathetic gringa at all. He doesn't have to help this poor little white girl who has no idea where she's going. But he did. And it just really, when you are a stranger in a strange land, so to speak, if you know that book, that saying, that phrase, I could almost cry. Like almost cry at first because I'm so scared and I don't know what I'm going to do. And then cry because somebody helped me and everything worked out really well. And it just occurred to me, like, if you have the opportunity to help somebody, help them. If you have the opportunity to make someone's life easier, to make their life more convenient, do it. Random acts of kindness are so underutilized, I think, maybe, and they mean the world. I have like kind of a funny example. Many years ago, when I was still living in Staten Island, New York, I had purchased an ebook. I don't like to read very long things online electronically, so I had emailed it to Staples to have them print out the PDF, bind it, whatever. It cost $10, like 10 cents a page, so it ended up being $10 or something, no big deal. And when I went to or maybe I dropped it off. It was on a thumb drive, whatever, because I went there first. And the girl at the print desk was kind of overwhelmed. There was a long line, customers were getting angry, people were getting worked up, and she was very calm and very professional, very polite with everybody. And so later that day, when I returned to the store to pick up the thing that had been printed and bound, I brought with me a $5 Starbucks gift card. And I was like, I saw what happened earlier. I've been there. I know how that is. Get yourself a treat on the way home. And she was so happy. She was so surprised. And I tell you what, however happy she was, however good it made her feel, I felt 20 times better. $5, no skin off my back. Here, pick up a latte on the way home. It made me feel so good to do that for a stranger. And if you're not in the position to spend an extra $5, no problem. Like, do what you can when and where you can. It doesn't always have to be monetary. You know, you could give your elderly neighbor a ride to the store, like whatever. Help a stranger who looks lost, who's like looking like a deer in the headlights, and you go like, do you need help? Can I help you find something? Maybe it's dumb, and maybe I shouldn't have done this video, but that small gesture of that man helping me meant so much to me. And what is the point? You know, I see so much ugliness on social media, so much ugliness, so much judging, so much shaming, so much criticism of other people, of the way they eat, the things they choose to eat, the macros they choose to eat, where they buy their food, their weight, their physical appearance. I see so much negativity and ugliness. And let me ask you this. What is the point? What is the point of being healthy and looking good and having six-pack abs and being ripped and having clear skin and feeling your best on keto if you're going to act like a fucking asshole? Pardon my language. What is the point of being in great shape and being healthy if you're just going to be a shit of a human being? Like, that, I don't know. Don't forget about your mental health and your emotional health. And part of that includes how you interact with other humans. You know, not everyone knows about keto the way you do. Maybe someone's choosing to do it differently, and that's okay. But really, that's kind of the point. Why are you trying to be healthy? So you can be a jerk? Why do you want to have six-pack abs? So you can make fun of people who don't? Come on, get over it. That's kind of all I really wanted to say. Let's be better people. You know, keto is, I've said this before, keto is supposed to make your life easier. It's supposed to make your life better. It's supposed to do good things for you. And what's the point of all that happening if you're going to turn around and use that for a negative purpose in the rest of your life? You know, to be negative toward everyone and to criticize everyone and to judge everyone for not being as healthy or as fit or as lean as you are. You know, just be a nice person, be a kind person. Maybe not every day. You're going to have a bad day here and there. You're going to be in a bad mood. Maybe do your best to just keep it to yourself and don't take it out on strangers. Don't take it out on your children or your spouse or whatever who doesn't deserve it. That's all. Let keto, let low carb do good things for you in your body and your mind and your emotions and the way that you interact with the world. And think about this poor, dumb Americana who had no clue what she's doing in Sao Paulo, and just these very simple bits of help that I got, that this guy probably didn't even think twice. Probably just like, oh, this poor girl, like, oh my God, let me try to help her. Had no idea how meaningful that was to me. And just as a little aside, this wasn't so much like an act of kindness, just as how funny this was to be in Brazil. Our hotel was across the street from kind of like a high-end mall. And I went to this mall, you know, and I treated myself to some clothing that, oddly enough, stuff I never would have tried on in the US, stuff that's like not my style, just stuff that, colors and types of garments I never would have looked at in the US, but I was just drawn to them, like, oh, that's so cute. And they looked really good on me. But I was in this shoe store, And the girls in the store spoke no English whatsoever. And again, my phone, useless. Otherwise, you can use like some kind of translation app, no big deal. You can point to things. It's so funny to me that we were able to communicate with the universal language of women, which is shoes. Now, is that a stereotype? Yes, but it's still funny. Can you please laugh with me and not get all like, me, I don't mean like me, whatever. It was a fun experience, just like bonding over shoes, pointing to the color, and then they would have, the sizes are different in Brazil. So pointing to the color, like I want this color in that number size, like women find a way to communicate when necessary when shoe purchases are involved. And it was, because of, like I said, the Portuñol, I said I could understand because the Spanish is so similar to Portuguese, I could say some things in Spanish that were close enough to the Portuguese that like más grande, bigger, I need a bigger size, or like negro, they had a shoe in like tan that I wanted in black, and I said, negro, and like it was great. So fun experience, be nice to people, and I guess that's it. Let keto make you a better person physically and energetically in terms of the energy that you put out into the world. And that's it. Don't forget to check out the preview of the Stall Slayer and see where you can meet me in person, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.